morning, good morning. Let's make sure we're working. There we go. Good morning, artists. Happy Wednesday. We are just gonna relax today, get some art done, working on Miss Saturn here. It's been coming out pretty fabulous so far. Just gonna take our time and do some pen work today. Probably get to the coloring. Getting her jewelry and everything. Just gonna go with it today. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe and staying healthy. We've heard now that a lot of places are going to start opening up. I hope that everyone just is careful and patient and supportive of all the businesses and what they're going through right now, and pretty much what everyone's going through right now. So just encouraging everyone to show some love today. I think that's what we're gonna just kind of focus on right now. I started working on Miss Saturn here last week, towards the end of the week. It's got a very kind of unique look to her, I think. I like it though. It's been a quiet morning here so far. No major dogs going crazy. Even though I did see a rabbit and a squirrel out this morning. I don't think they saw the rabbit. They definitely saw the squirrel. They chased a squirrel. But just before I headed down here, they were both pretty much passed out. They're already acting like they're not into the heat. Which I'm like, guys, we haven't even really started summer yet. You can't be over the heat already. Switch to our larger pen. A few in the back there. Looks good. Turn up our music a little bit more today, since we're just relaxing. and jumping between a few of my own projects lately this weekend. Why did I say this weekend? This week. Still working on the carving project. It's kind of slow going. So I came up with some kind of new ideas I wanted to try for the carving part. So slowly working on that. Probably work on that a little more today. Pulled out my embroidery floss, which is colorful, kind of thicker string. It's not quite as thick as yarn. It's actually what I used to make this bracelet. Started another little bracelet. It's kind of fun. It's a good, doesn't require a whole ton of thought. You have to concentrate, but it's like, it's pretty simple to do at the same time. Which I know it's a weird thing to sound like. You have to concentrate, but it's also pretty simple. So I've been working on coming up with a pattern to use for that. Once I finish it, I will debut wear it for you guys. These are actually really nice to wear for doing streams like these, for doing art, because they're pretty comfortable. It doesn't hurt at all to, you know, when your hand is resting on the table. So kind of excellent for art. I guess the only problem would be that because it's cloth, it can get dirty. So just have to be careful with it and clean it gently. This foot feels like it's shaped a little weird, but that's alright. Kind of a weird angle, but we're still doing it. I'm liking her design. It's definitely something different. Working on these two has given me some more ideas for my carving pieces, but I won't be able to get back into those for a little bit because I promised a client of mine that I would be working on one for them. And I say client because they're going to pay me. So even though it's coming from my dad, they're still a client. He doesn't have to pay me. I will consider it a donation to his cause. He wants me to make a windsurfing thing for he hosts a swap meet every year, which if you're not familiar with a swap meet, it's where lots of different people can get together, usually with a common theme of some sort to the swap meet. So like in this case, it's windsurfing. And people will share their equipment or like look for people to trade with them. So if they have equipment that doesn't work for them anymore, they'll trade it or sell it. So he hosts a lot of different windsurfers will get together and trade and sell equipment every year. And they couldn't do it this May. They normally do it in the spring, because that's right when the season is ready to get going. But because of the COVIDs, that didn't happen. So it looks like they're going to do it later in the year. And my mom and my dad play host, and they bring food and snacks and drinks, and my dad brings his own equipment and stuff to swap with people, and they network, and it's great because he is a licensed instructor, so he will actually teach lessons, and it's a good chance for him to network with people. Kind of like a mini convention. Any of you fellow nerds out there know what that's like. Alright, so now we got the basic pen work done. I'm gonna swing this for a second, working on our curve here. Should have it turned the other way to match my wrist, but this is fine. It's just easier to go up and down than it is to go from side to side. There we go. So tomorrow there's probably not going to be a stream. I'm planning, so long as the weather holds, on going up for the little 8th grade graduation. Wave at everyone as they pass by in their cars, essentially. So no surprises about there not being the stream. Hopefully some of you will actually be there. Sorry, we're a little quiet today. Didn't really have anything too exciting happening in personal life. Boys have not gotten into any hijinks lately. Did see a dog I don't think I've seen in the neighborhood. Either that or they just got their coat trimmed. What is this? Bigger dog, probably a little bit bigger than mine. Black and white. Not a Dalmatian, but kind of alternate and spotty. And I'm like, who's that? You don't know him yet. It's funny, you get to know all the dogs in the neighborhood, even more than your neighbors. We used to have a beautiful white German Shepherd on the corner, who we figured out her name was Winter, because we heard her owner yelling at her one day when she was out barking. And then we stopped seeing her for a while, and it's hard to tell because, you know, she was just a all white dog, if she was like getting older or something. So I think she probably just got a little old. But not too long ago, they brought in a new black puppy, German Shepherd, and he is a barker. And we're trying to slowly become friends a little bit. The last time he was out in the yard when I walked by with the dogs, he was right up to them. They have a big wooden fence where the fencing kind of overlaps just a little bit, like one's back and one's forward, and they just barely overlap on each side. And he comes right up to the fence and is sniffing and yapping. And I'm very careful. I don't like stick my hand through the fence or anything, but I do kind of put my hand flat near the fence. Not invading, just talking quiet and telling him he's a good boy, letting him sniff. And he did. He stopped barking for a moment so he could sniff, and then Wesker came up and stuck his nose up in the business. He started barking at Wesker. And Wesker is super friendly with people, but he definitely likes to establish himself as big dog. So he's not really good with meeting new dogs because he immediately has to be like, I'm in charge. And most other dogs are not into that. Even Wiley is starting to be a little more rough about, you can't bully me. They've been together long enough, and now that Wiley's bigger, I think Wiley's realized that, you know, he doesn't have to put up with all this crap. I'm sure there's plenty of younger siblings out there who know that feel of you got picked on for a long time and then you got big enough that you could fight back. I am not a younger sibling. I am the eldest, which makes me the absolute smartest. They will probably disagree with you, my siblings, but you just can't help it. Can't help what you are. I'm kidding, of course. So I was on the other end. I had a little brother who, my family was not, my siblings and I, we didn't torture each other. I mean, my sister is my best friend now, you know, so it wasn't all bad. I definitely was lord of the house. But that was only because I always had the best ideas, according to me. But my brother is now like a foot taller than me, and he's a tall guy, big guy. I can't beat up on him. I mean, I could. It just wouldn't do anything. He's a little more gentle giant though, so he wouldn't punch me back. Not that I have any reason to. We get along. Our whole family gets along well. This corner is trying to be a bum. Look at it. Trying to get all messed up on me. There we go. Okay. Sorry, the lines part is not quite as exciting as the coloring and such is. I kind of like it though because it's a way of kind of cleaning things up a little bit. I think it looks so much nicer once you've got these kind of darker little spaces happening. It feels dramatic. I like drama in my art. Not drama in my life. Don't need no drama in my life. Drama in the art. I have to start doing some thinking though about this summer. I'll still have my classes going on. But I'll have to think about whether or not to keep on doing streaming. It's gotten a little quiet on the site lately. I know everyone's got a lot of stuff they're thinking about and working on, so it's not a surprise. But I've kind of enjoyed having this designated time of just gonna go hide somewhere quiet, like in the basement here, and do some artwork. Not that I couldn't still do that, even without the stream. But it kind of feels nice to have this time just set aside and almost not forced to do it, but because nobody's forcing me except myself. But even in that, it's kind of nice. Though, to be honest, I would probably start putting on some different music. I've been listening to this track a lot since it doesn't get demonetized or anything. It doesn't get flagged by YouTube. And it's pretty and it's calming, which is nice. But it definitely gets to the point where you don't really hear it anymore. It's just kind of there. Almost like white noise. Although every now and then it still is hard to keep from singing along. with the parts that I recognize. It's this is a jazz version of music from movies made by Studio Ghibli in Japan. They're a great studio. They've done just a ton of really popular, mostly children's movies, which isn't to say that they aren't deep movies with good stories. I'm just gonna bring you close and put you on a little tilt so that we can avoid the... There we go. Avoid the zoomings. But they write some amazing movies with some really great characters, and I think one of the things they do really strongly is they can write, especially their main creator is kind of, people call him like the Japanese equivalent of Walt Disney, but where I think he excels even more so than Disney is his ability to make stories that don't necessarily have to have a villain. I mean, a lot of the Disney animated movies got real predictable. Usually it's a prince and a princess and a villain, and stuff happens. And most of the time, at least in the earlier movies, the princess needs to be saved by the prince. In the later movies, she starts to be a little more active. Of course, things like Brave and Frozen, and even Princess and the Frog to a certain degree. Moana all have much stronger ladies, but Miyazaki was doing that much sooner. There's even a thing going around for a while in the anime community, because Disney bought the rights to the Studio Ghibli catalog. So Disney is the one that puts out those movies now. If you go to, once it's open, of course, if you go to Disney World in Florida and you go to Epcot, most of the area that's the Japanese part of the World Tour area, that's got a lot of Studio Ghibli stuff. Why do I have to do so many tiny little lines? There's a baby bird outside my window. You can always tell the baby bird chirps. They're a little higher, they're a little sharp. Calling for mom and dad to bring them some food. We've heard them a lot in our backyard. We have a mother robin that's back on the nest, and we had a family of blue jays in one of our neighbor's trees that's right along our property line. And they got into war for a while between the robins and the blue jays, trying to fight for space and resources, I guess. I haven't seen the baby blue jay yet. We know they're there. I've seen them fluttering around in the bushes, but not enough to get a good view. It's looking okay. Nice. I like her crown. Her crown's super fun. I like all their crowns though. I had done an artwork a long time ago where I had a character that just had huge hat. I don't know why, I got such a kick out of it. And I've always really liked characters, especially in fantasies and stuff. Super into all their headgear. And since I'm into like the Renaissance fair type stuff, the old European dressing up and whatnot, every now and then I'll be like, anybody making any cool like crowns or anything? Tiaras? Oh my gosh, I would wear a tiara, you guys. I know you all would laugh, but that's fine. If I weren't already doing 100 different other art things, I'd be like, I'm gonna figure out how to make a tiara. Alright, I think pen is done for now. Let's set those aside. Erase your handy, and let's start busting out the colored pencils. Woo! I'm trying to fall all over the place. So, planet Saturn, unlike some of the other planets, does not have a whole lot of color to it. Early pictures, according to NASA, had it as being kind of some blue tones, but later pictures, it's all showing it in these like pale goldish tan. Tea break, sorry. But I don't want to do another just regular old tan. We're gonna get she's gonna get some gold. We don't have a whole lot of gold on these ladies yet, do we? Let's see. The sun does. Mars, of course, all red. Jupiter, she's in golden tones, so I have to be careful not to go too far in that direction. Little Mercury and Venus are both kind of colored in blues and yellows like their planets. Earth is, of course, in her tones, earthy tones. The sun has got some nice gold in there, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. And of course, the moon, she's gorgeous. I love her. So, Saturn, let's get some white in there. Some white and some of these pale yellow colors. We're going to have handy this Spanish orange, which is I like to use for my gold. To have this cream color nearby, and of course some orange, because that also helps for the gold. And I think for a matching color, because we've had yellows with blues and with teals. We've had teal and green. Moon's got a lot of purple on her. Reds and orange. So green is something that we haven't had too much of. So we'll probably try to sneak some green into some places, I think. Because after Saturn is Uranus and Neptune, and both of those tend to be more bluish. So we're going to sneak some areas in here that have a little bit of some greens. We're going to save those for now, though. I think even before that, I want to figure out her skin tone. Kind of had some mixes. I think I want her to be a little bit on the darker side. So we're going to get a couple of neutral colors in here. Like that. And let's use, we'll keep the cream handy, I think, for the highlights. Let's even just kind of sharpen that up. Okay. So she's not going to be this cream tone, but I do want to have something light just to start off with, just to kind of having that lighter color tone on there will help it with mixing, I think. And having this kind of almost yellowish tone, I think, will help her skin to kind of match with the gold that's going to be in her outfit. Gotta add layers of colors, right? Probably should have given her. We'll pretend she's got more rings on her other hand. You just can't see it. Let me scoot her up a bit for you guys. Now I'm coloring her feet. I'm not gonna jump the camera back and forth because it's just this small part on her feet that I gotta color in. Alright, so now that we got that, I'm gonna take our, this is a light umber. Probably gonna need to tape it to something. Let's see, where's my tape? Oh, masking tape is better, but this will do in a pinch. I'm gonna attach it to, let's just attach it to the yellow. Just gonna crisscross some tape on it, roll it up nice. Super. It just makes it more comfortable to hold because now there's something braced on the rest of my hand. So it's easier to hold it lightly and color a little bit lighter when you've got something supporting it. So I'm still only pressing down lightly for now. because now it's just about getting some color on the paper. And then once we start going in more and pressing down darker, we'll start getting her real color in there. So it's going to look a little bit blotchy right now since I'm not putting down any kind of pressure. This will be good. I want her to have a darker skin tone that's not too dark. I want her nice mid-range. And now adding color to the feet, which you cannot see because I don't want to scoot the camera for these quick few seconds of coloring this one little part, since it's all the same as the top. Okay. Alright. I don't know how much I want too much of this brown in here because it's such a warmer tone brown. So we'll save that for now. Dark umber, we're going to need to attach you to something. Let's attach you to, how about this nice mulberry color. Okay, sure. So let's call it raspberry, but it's not quite the same color as they normally call raspberry. Red, violet, either way. There we go. Nice little twist there. Okay, so now we're going to start sneaking the dark umber. So we were using light umber before. We got dark umber now. I don't think they have just umber. So dark umber is a very dark color. So we're just going to be sneaking that into the areas that we want to be pretty shadowed. So things like right under where the helmet is, just a little bit under the eyebrows, next to the eyes, just a little bit. A little bit next to the nose. Since the light's kind of coming from the left side here, darken around the nose just a little bit. Help to give everything a little more shape. And then places like in the palm of the hand, bottom side of the arm. So the light shines down from on top, so the bottom part of the arm will be a little bit darker. And under the sleeve a little bit. Very nice, very nice. And then, of course, just a little bit down around the heels and toes of the feet. Which we're not switching the camera because it's just a little short time. Boom. Alright, there was that. So, now, pencil, I just dropped it on the paper and made a mark. Oh, wait, we're going to need that spot later. Tea break? Tea break? Okay. Now we're going to go back to the light umber. That should be a little bit darker there. There we go. Just a little. So now I'm still not pressing too hard, but because I've had all of the different layers of pencil already going over it, it's starting to solidify things a little better. So it's starting to mix with the darker and lighter tones. It's sometimes tough because they give you, you can buy all sorts of different skin kind of tones, but there's not often a good enough range, I'd say. Like you can get as much as a light peach and a regular peach and a salmon pink, and these are all good lighter skin tones, and then you've got like the light umber and then dark brown, dark umber, just kind of like the regular light browns, sienna brown. So you get this like different skin tones, but there's not much that's right in the middle of them. So it's either like you're gonna have these pale characters or you're gonna have these darker skin characters. It's like, but what if I want the middle? I should do some research. I should see if these are made by Prismacolor. I should see if they make a skin tone package. I know Crayola sometimes does that. They'll have they call it like their multicultural pack, and it'll come in a bunch of different tones. I know they'll do that with like markers. I don't know if they do that. I think they do that with colored pencils. They do, because I remember finding a bunch of them at one point in my classroom. But it was kind of the same problem. You had some dark colors, you had some light colors, and then there was like a random red, like a mahogany. And I'm like, that's way red. Like way red. That's like sunburn kind of color. Which, I mean, I guess technically that's still skin tone. But that's like cancer causing skin tone, so no thanks. Me being as marshmallow pale as I am, I burn. If I'm out in the sun too long, I will burn. I had dinner at my folks' house a couple weeks ago for Mother's Day, late Mother's Day. And even on a mostly cloudy day, I got a little sunburn on one part of my arm. It wasn't too bad, luckily. it was gone by the next day, so it wasn't a serious situation, but it was still like, man, even on a cloudy 60-degree weather, no, it's a little warmer than that, it's like 65-degree day. This one is kind of working out too. I didn't want it to come out too pink looking. So we're trying to stay away from peachy colors. Even these browns that we're using, umber is, I think you'd refer to it as like a cool brown. It just means that a lot of browns tend to be, have like a little more red in it than usual. That's what like, where's my chunky pad? That's umber. It almost has, it's almost yellowish in a way. And then if you take just like brown, there, you can really see the difference. Brown, sienna brown in this case, has a little more red in it. So it's a bit of a reddish toned brown. So that's what I wanted in this case. Is I wanted her to be, I don't want, not yellow, that's not the right way of putting it, but I wanted it to be a less reddish color. A cool brown, not a warm brown. All right. So now we'll go back to this pale color. And I'm just going to go over a little bit in the areas that I wanted to be a little bit lighter. Use it to blend in a little bit. This is the point where I'm starting to actually put a little pressure. So you'll start to see the little pieces of colored pencil starting to flick off. I don't use too much on the belly here because the fringe actually would end up causing a little bit of a shadow to happen. Now I know normally my rule is I do the lighter areas first, and I am planning on using lighter colors in some of her outfit. But I've been thinking while working on drawing her and looking at the other characters, trying to figure out what I wanted to do skin-wise, and I felt like it might be more important to go and get her skin tone down first before picking what her other colors are going to be. Watch your ears sharpening. Just because sometimes, depending on the colors that you pick for their outfits, it'll work with or against them in some ways. And it definitely says something if you have, like in the case of Venus, that she is super pale and has very pale colors. Or like the moon, who has very dark tones and dark colors. So you can kind of go in different directions. You can go where the skin tone works with the clothes color. So light skin, light clothes, dark skin, dark clothes. Or if you go opposite, darker skin with lighter clothes, or lighter skin with darker clothes, then you have this kind of contrasting effect. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for her clothing color, so I figured I'd want to get her skin color in first, and then go with the clothing that would fit the feeling I wanted her to have. I hope that makes sense. Ooh. Run over a little bit. We're okay. It's okay, people. It's okay. No need to panic. Tea break. I'm having cinnamon again today. Normally we were able to, at one point, find that cinnamon tea in like Meijer or Kroger or other stores, but they don't have them anymore. I guess it just wasn't popular enough for them to want to keep stocking it. At least not in this area. So now we have to order our cinnamon tea online. Sorry, doing the feet right now. I know you can't see. All right. Sharpening again. Watch your ears. I just want to sneak back and get these shadows back in here just a little bit more before we call it for today. This is good. She's not quite as dark in tone as Moon and Earth is, which is what I wanted. And she's not too pale either. It's good. All right, as I finish up down here on the toeses, I think we'll leave it at this today. Tomorrow, no stream. So I'll be at the graduation, hopefully, so long as the weather is nice. But then we will be back on Friday. Probably finishing up a little more on this lady. And then guys, there's only one more week technically left of school. It's crazy. It's amazing that it's gotten here even, you know? It has been a wild 2020 so far. It's not finished. There's still months to go, but hopefully things will start moving on an upswing, yeah? We can hope. Gotta hope. All right? Awesome. All right, guys, I will talk to you on Friday. Please stay healthy and stay safe in the meantime. And maybe I'll see some of you tomorrow at graduation. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day now that it's getting warmer out. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.